Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of We're the New Adults. I'm your boy TJ Williams. I'm gonna be your host for this podcast. I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to episode 10. I cannot believe we're on episode 10, y'all. I've been really trying to keep up and be consistent with posting every week. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. When I agreed to posting every week, I really didn't realize how fast the week was gonna go by and how quick Saturday was gonna come. But I think I've been doing a pretty good job. I think I missed maybe 1 week, but and y'all was on me about that when y'all was like, TJ, where the video? I had to post a little something like I'm sorry, y'all. I was at the family reunion, so I didn't get to post that weekend. But I really have been trying to be consistent and keep up with my word. So thank y'all so much for just believing in me and understanding if I can't post, every Saturday, but I have been trying. But yeah, so this is episode 10. I just can't believe I started this podcast June 1st. It is now, I think, when this episode drops, it's gonna be August 8th. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be August 8th whenever this episode drops. And it's just so crazy. It's hit the 2 month mark, and I've just already been seeing so much growth within my YouTube community, my social media, Instagram, TikTok community. I want to say thank y'all. Shout out to y'all. I have 200 followers. I never thought I'd be excited for 200 followers again, but I am very excited to have 200 followers on Instagram. That's mainly where I post most of my clips at. So if y'all don't catch an episode, y'all can catch an episode on my Instagram page at We're the New Adults. So yeah, but without further ado, I want to get into this episode. Episode 10, Why Jump If You Can Leap? All right, so it's so crazy because me and one of my older friends, when I say older, like 40, 50 years old, she's a seasoned adult. I got told not to call the older adults old adults, call them seasoned adults. So that's what we're going to call the older adults, seasoned adults. I was having a conversation with a seasoned adult, which happened to be one of my good friends, and she was saying, what's new about y'all? Like, what's so new about the new adults? I'm like, are you joking? Like, what do you mean? What's not new? Like, just look at us. Look at us. First of all, we're in the generation of the internet that itself has blown y'all way out of proportion. And no shade to y'all because y'all didn't have it then. So it's not even y'all's fault. But that's already new. I want to make this video for sure today, just letting it be known that not only do we have so many different new things that we are bringing to adulthood, but we are just stepping out on faith. Like, that is a huge thing that I feel like a majority of our generation, we all have that in common. We all are very courageous. We ain't scared. We not scared to take a leap of faith. And I want to just talk about that and how important it is to take a leap of faith. I would have to say I feel like my first leap of faith was going to college. Whenever I got to the point where it was time to go to college, I had three choices of where I was going to go. That was Southern University, Grambling State University, and Northwestern State University being the last option, but clearly the best option in the end. But yeah, that was my three options. So when it came down to me choosing a college, I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to pay for this? What is my living situation going to look like, and yeah, which college meets the requirements that I need so that I can have the best 4 years in whatever major I choose. So it all came down, I ended up choosing Northwestern, but I still feel like that decision itself was a leap of faith. I really had no idea about what I was going to gain from Northwestern. I really did not want to go to NSU. That was just the truth of the matter. NSU was my last option. It's in my hometown. I've been to NSU Elementary Lab, NSU Middle Lab. I am NSU'd out. Well, I thought I was NSU'd out. I'm NSU'd out now. But at the time, like, I'm NSU'd out. Like, I do not want to go to NSU. But with that being said, I end up having to go there. And it was a leap of faith only because I feel like I still gave myself that room to still grow. I still gave myself room to have that experience going away to college. I still moved out my house. I still moved into my own dorm room. And to me, that was a leap of faith. I really didn't know how I was going to do living on my own. I didn't know how I was going to keep my grades up, with me having all the responsibility on my own without having my mom like on my back. I'm so used to my mom being on my back and used to my mom being there to tell me, oh, do this, do that. I was low-key very scared to go to college because I really didn't know how I was going to do. And I said in my previous episode, I didn't do well. But to me, anyone who chooses to go to college, that's a leap of faith. You're choosing to put yourself in a financial situation that may not be the best at the end of your 4 years. You're choosing to pursue something that you may not even get a job in once those 4 years are up. And you're not thinking about those things when you first start college, but looking back, it's like, okay, that was definitely a leap of faith. Anyone who chooses to do more education after high school, I feel like that's a leap of faith. While I was in college, my spirituality started to grow. I was already introduced to the church, introduced to God. I already knew him, but I had to learn him on my own. I had to go through things on my own so that I could figure out, okay, my own relationship with God. And it was a couple points in my college career that I didn't really have a blueprint to the things that I chose to do. The things that I chose to do were kind of unheard of before. They were unheard of. They hadn't been done. So there was no one I could go to for help or advice or questions. I think the first thing that I chose to do while being in college, after COVID, after everything, I remember I was at home. It was summer. I think I was enrolled in summer school, and an application that came across my Instagram feed. And so I'm looking at the application, and so I've always loved fashion. I've always loved modeling. I've always loved the idea of that. Didn't know that I would end up having some type of experience with that, but I've always been interested in it. So an application came across my feed, and this wasn't the first time I saw the application because a person that I followed, they had posted they got accepted from the application. So I'm seeing the application, and I'm seeing someone that got accepted from the application. So when I saw it come up across my feed again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this as a sign. I'm gonna take this as a sign because it's my second time seeing it. So I look at the application, and it says models needed, designers needed for New York Fashion Week. I'm like, okay. Looking at the blueprint, looking at the fine print, don't see any requirements needed. You don't need to be signed to an agency. None of that. It just says apply and get accepted or denied. So I was like, why not? And I feel like whenever I talk about being courageous, our generation has that why not attitude. Why not do this? Why not go for this? Why not try to achieve this? And I feel like that is what makes us new. That's what makes us different, you know? So I said, why not? I ended up applying. I think 2 months, 3 months later down the road, I finally got an email saying I got accepted to New York Fashion Week. Let me say that again. I got accepted to New York Fashion Week. When I saw that email, y'all, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, what? What am I looking at right now? But I got accepted. And so I ended up going through that whole process and everything. It ended up being in New York City that September. Let me tell y'all something. I was in New York City on 9/11. That was the day of the fashion show. I stayed that whole weekend. I was in New York on 9/11. I never in a million years, I was 22 at the time, I never would have thought I'd be in New York City on 9/11. You know, but that just goes to show you God just continues to blow our mind with his plans. We may have a plan or an idea, but he just always goes above and beyond to just show up and show out and let us know that I'm in control, and I'm going to blow your mind every time. You may have an idea, you may have a plan, but God's plan is always greater. It's always better than what we have in mind. So I ended up going through the process, and I told my mom about it whenever I got accepted, and she's like, what? Like, I mean, of course, you know, mama like, what are you talking about? Like, please get out of my face. Like, not really wanting to hear it. This was unheard of. Literally, like I said, I've always been into fashion, but for me to come with a application saying approved New York Fashion Week is like, whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, she like, I ain't got no money for that. I ain't got no time for that. Like, no, like, so she was really like, not all the way on board at the beginning, but my mom is just so particular, and she just wants to make sure that everything is what it seems. She wants to look into it herself, research it herself. So I end up sending it to my mom and my dad, and my dad is the same way. He wants to research everything down. He wants to read the fine print. Okay. So told my parents. They're like semi-happy, semi-like confused. They really don't know what's going on. So they look into it. They get back with me. They're like, okay, it seems legit. I'm like, I know. I already did my research, but I just want to let y'all know so that y'all can do your own research so y'all can get a little more comfortable with me doing this, because I'm doing it. Like, I got accepted. I'm going to find a way to do it. So I was in school at the time. School's going on. It's fall semester going on. But I already knew. I was like, if I have to miss school to go to be in New York Fashion Week, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, no doubt about it. So I didn't tell too many people. And that's one thing that you should take a note of do not tell everyone your business. Even if it's like, I got accepted and this, that, and the other, anything can happen. And you just never know how someone can be praying down on you. You never know how someone truly feels about the news that you tell them. They could be supportive in your face, but behind your back, they could be talking about you, praying down on you, and not really wanting you to succeed. So make sure who you're telling your business to, and make sure the only people that know your business is people that want the best for you, people that are praying for you, and people that support you. So, told my parents, I think I told my siblings, a couple of my cousins, but that was it. I didn't post on the gram. That's one thing I'm gonna have to call us out on, new adults. My fellow new adults, we post too much on the gram now, and I talked about that in a previous episode. But if you have some good news, good achievements, the first place you should not be going to is Instagram. Why are you on Instagram saying that you just got approved for $1,000 limit credit card? And you screenshotting are you joking? Like, Instagram does not have to know everything. And so that was one thing I said I was not going to do. I was not going to post on Instagram. I was going to literally wait. When I say I waited, I did not post on Instagram. I was even in New York City. I didn't post on Instagram until the day of the fashion show. I was not playing. I'm like, no one is about to pray against me about this. No one is about to ruin this for me. There are some things you should just keep to yourself. Period. So I kept it to myself. When it got closer to time, I did kind of tell a couple of my classmates just because they were wondering why I was going to be missing school and everything. But my mom said, you're going, but you're not going alone. I'm not sending you to New York City alone. And so I knew that was what she was going to say. My mom, she would never have me do something, especially something new like that. She would never let me go alone. And I appreciate my mom so much because not only did she go with me, she made sure that everything was in order. She made sure that I had my scheduling, everything that she was my momager. Literally, my mom was my momager. And my dad came to the actual fashion show. My aunt, my sister, my cousin, and I had my support system there. But it took me taking a leap of faith. Did I have any idea about New York Fashion Week? No idea. Did I have any modeling experience? No. Did I have any runway experience? No. And let me tell you this. We had a runway class. It was via Zoom the day before the fashion show. We're on the Zoom. Model Jordan, I can't remember his name, but the model was giving us a presentation on how to work the runway. So he's working it, and so he calls out on a volunteer. I'm one of the first volunteers. No, I take it back. I was the last volunteer. He chose 3 volunteers. I was the last volunteer he chose. I kid you not. I walked on that via Zoom. He said, oh, everybody needs to take notes from him. Everybody take notes from him. There were maybe 50 people on the Zoom call that were supposed to be at the fashion show. And for me to get chosen, for me to get picked, for me to be the one who aced the runway, it's like, what? Like I said, no experience. And I said on my last video, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Period. And so with that being said, me taking that leap of faith, me knowing what was inside of me, and me knowing that me taking this leap of faith is going to get me closer to what God has for me. All he needs me to do is take the leap. He said he'll do the rest. All I need to do is take the leap. So quit playing and take the leap of faith. If you have inside of you that, okay, I'm ready to make this decision, I'm ready to make this jump, or if you have any doubt of, I don't know if it's the right time, or I don't know if I can do it, do it. There is never going to be a right time. There is never going to be a more perfect time than right now. You have to get out of your head. And that's something that I need to take note of myself, getting out of my head, getting more confident in myself. Believing in myself. And it's like, if I can tell everyone else, be confident, believe in myself, I still struggle with it every day. Every day I struggle with confidence. And it's like, I have so many accolades. I have so many different things that I've accomplished. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, am I enough? So it's okay to feel like, are you enough? But at the same time, you have to remember what God says about you. God says so much great things about you. And it's like, taking that leap of faith, he's going to make sure you're protected every single time. So I took the leap of faith. I went to New York Fashion Week and I worked that runway. I'm not even trying to be cocky, but I really did. I was very surprised in myself. Was I nervous? Yes. After the fashion show and everything, I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to take this serious. I want to be a model. I want to, yeah. So after that fashion show, they end up calling me back for another show in Los Angeles, New York, Los Angeles. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would have been in the two, literally, I don't want to say capitals, but those are like the two hot spots, literally. And God blessed me to be able to not only walk in one, but be approved for the next one. Praise the Lord. Glory be to God. So yeah, so I ended up walking in LA Fashion Week. Having the experience from New York, I had a little more confidence going into LA. But it was still me taking a leap of faith. I'd never been to Los Angeles before. My mom didn't come with me this time. My good friend came with me. It was just me and her walking the streets of Los Angeles. I'm at the fashion show. All I had was my friend in the crowd. I didn't have my mom, my dad, my everybody there. And that goes to show you may not have everybody in your corner. You may not have, and it's not even that they don't want to be. Maybe they can. Maybe they can't show up. Everyone's not going to be able to show up for you every single time. But does that mean you don't still do it? Does that mean you don't cheer yourself on? And like I said, I've said in another video, as long as you have that one or two people that are your support system, that's all that matters. So killed LA Fashion Week. And by that point, I'm like, wow, like I don't want to start calling myself a model because I'm not a model, but I'm like, this is my second fashion show and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And God, let me tell you something. In a quick story about LA. So I'm in the dressing room. We're all trying to get our clothes together. They're trying to get us fitted for what we need to be wearing on the runway. And I got picked to wear this fur coat. And so I'm looking at the clothes they told me to bring. And I'm like, okay, the fur coat, it's all right. And it's not even about really how I'm trying to rock it. You're supposed to be selling the clothes, period, point blank. It's not about how TJ looks. It's about selling the fur jacket. But I'm looking like, it really don't match my shoes because they only told me to bring one pair of shoes and it's just not going. And so I hang the coat up or whatever. And so I end up telling him like, hey, is there anything else that you have for me? And he was like, let me look. Found a fitted me perfect hat, jacket, pants, matched my shoes perfectly. Kid you not, had the best outfit on the runway for the clothing brand that I was representing. I worked that runway again. And for me to have the best or the quote unquote standout look of the whole clothing brand, it just amazed me because it's like, this is my second time walking in a show. This is my first time in Los Angeles, and God has showed up already. And God never ceases to amaze me every single time. So with me taking those leaps of faith, I've gotten to add things to my resume that I never thought I would have had on my resume. Being called a model. And even when I came back home, it's like, oh, you're a model, you're a model, you're a model. And it's like, I still didn't have the confidence. I'm like, yeah, like I am, but I just wasn't calling myself one just because I only did it 2 times. But those 2 times said enough. My third leap of faith. When it got to my senior year in college, it came time for me to choose my internship for school. I will say, when it came to me in school, I did not do everything that I need to do to make sure that I was ready for my senior year. And with that being said, I wasn't focused in. I wasn't doing the extracurricular things that I could have been doing that could have helped me with my major. And yeah, I just wasn't taking it as serious as I should. So when it came down to me choosing an internship, I'm trying to get an internship that is actually going to put me in a better position to get a job. So I'm applying to all the biggest news stations. I'm applying to the local news stations. I'm applying everywhere because I wanted that opportunity to get some real life experience, real job experience. So I applied to these jobs, applied to these news stations, didn't hear back from none of them. It's maybe 10 days before I have to choose my internship. They gave us to 31st of May. I want to say it was like May 20th. I'm panicking. I'm panicking at this point because I'm panicking because I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle with the internship that my school gives me. I want a real life internship. So I end up going on a field trip at school. We're on the field trip and I'm talking to this man that was organizing the field trip. We're having the conversation. I'm letting him know my plans, my goals, my aspirations. And he's like, wow, you seem like you have a really good head on your shoulders. I'm like, I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying. So, but just through that one conversation, I ended up telling him I need an internship. I'm looking for an internship. Not looking for Not looking for anything from him. I swear to God, I was not looking for a internship from him. I was not looking for any references. None of that. This man says out of his mouth, I think I know somebody that is a news director. I might have to send him a text to tell him to give you a call. One conversation with this man, 10 days before it's time for me to choose my internship. I tell this man, thank you. Oh my God. Like, yes. Like, oh my God. So he tells me the man's name. We exchange numbers. He said he'll be in touch. He texts the man while I'm still at the field trip. The man immediately texts back and says, send me his resume. When I say this internship was the best internship that could have worked out for me, period. It was in a city where I had family, where I could stay. It was at a station that was slower paced than a regular news station. It was full of loving, amazing people. I loved everyone there. I still love everyone there. And it was a nationally broadcasted news service. Nationally broadcasted news service. I was looking for something local. Good God Almighty. I was looking for something locally when God has something nationally planned for me. Are you kidding me? So with that being said, was I nervous? Yes. I was completely nervous. For one, like I said, I did not do what I needed to do beforehand getting to my senior year. So I had no clue about a whole lot of information that I should have known about. A whole lot of lingo that I should have known about going into the internship. So when I got there, it wasn't the ideal internship I was looking for because it was telling news about agriculture. So with me telling news about agriculture, I'm like, I don't know a hoot about anything agriculture. I can tell you about some snake print boots and some I can tell you about some snake print boots and the alligator belt. But no, for real, like I am a fashion city boy. Like, to be honest, I'm a city boy. So me doing agricultural news, it sounded crazy. But I took that leap of faith. I took that leap of faith because I'm like, God, you put it in my face for a reason. You put me in position to do the internship for a reason. So I know that you're going to carry it out. You didn't bring me this far just to leave me. So I went to the internship. And when I say I grew so much from that internship, I have such a different outlook on myself. I was in front of something brand new, something that I had no prior knowledge about. So it's like, how am I going to tell news stories about something I barely even know about myself? And proved myself wrong the whole time I was at that internship. When I say I told those news stories, you would think I had a farm in my backyard. I kid you not. I kid you not. And so with that being said, it took me taking that leap of faith. Every single time we take a leap of faith, God notices that and he looks at that as we're trying. We're putting our best foot forward. As long as God sees us putting our best foot forward, he's going to make sure we're carried the whole way through. We never leave his sight. We never leave his presence. We never leave the palm of his hands. So as long as he is carrying us, no matter if it's unseen territory, unseen things that you've never done before, God's going to carry you the whole way through. And he's going to make sure that you get to the other side of it so that you can tell your testimony, which I'm doing now, to somebody else that needs to make a leap of faith so that they can get to the other side of their blessing. It's hard because when you're taking a leap of faith, you don't see the other side. You don't see the possibilities that could be on the other side. You don't have any idea what you're walking into. So you're having no choice but to trust in God with 100% of your being. And that's what he wants from us. He wants us to trust him 100%. There is no 90%, 10%. There's no 75-25. You need to be all the way in. So that means being all the way in, not only with God, but with yourself. Believing in yourself 100%, that knowing that with you taking this leap of faith, that you're going to end up being okay at the end. And if you don't end up being okay, that's okay. On my last episode, my guest, McKenna Charmaine, she ended up saying that failure is not the end goal. Failure may be a part of the process, but it's not the end goal. So with that being said, keep that in your mind that no matter how this goes, no matter how the decision plays out, once you made your leap of faith, know that either you needed to learn something from it or that it's going to put you closer to where you're supposed to be. That's where I am right now. I'm at a point right now, I'm ready to take another leap. Let me tell you, once you take that first leap, you're like, all right, what's next? We playing jump rope. What's next? I'm ready for the next leap. I'm ready to challenge myself some more. I think feeling like you need to take a leap of faith comes from outgrowing where you are right now in life. And there's nothing wrong with outgrowing where you are. And it takes a strong-minded individual to realize that they are outgrowing their environment, outgrowing their friends, outgrowing whatever. And my last leap of faith, this podcast, the podcast y'all are watching right now, because a lot of people see the glory, but they don't know my story. And I told you in the first episode, y'all, I had no idea what I was going to do after college. I had been told what I should do, but I know in my heart that was not what I wanted to do. So with me having the freedom to choose whatever I wanted to do, I chose a podcast. Did I know that it wasn't going to be making me money at the beginning? Yes, I knew that. Did I know that my support system will be small from the beginning? Yes, I knew that. But God gave me a vision to what he has for me. And I knew the only thing that I had to do was get in line and take that leap of faith. All I had to do was get on the edge and take that leap. Take that leap. Did I know what I was going to be talking about on this podcast? No, I did not. Did I know how much equipment was going to cost? Did I know how much time it was going to take? No, I did not. It's about his will, making sure that he gets all the glory. I am just a vessel doing God's work so that he can get the glory. Period, point blank. So with me starting this podcast, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, God. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to set this camera up and I'm going to talk to it and I'm going to post it and I'm going to see who gets inspired by it. I'm going to see how it's accepted and we're going to go from there. And here we are, episode 10. Episode 10 of We're the New Adults. And like I said, it's so amazing to me because it started from an idea. And that's what a leap of faith is. A leap of faith starts with an idea of like, okay, I think I can do this. This is in my mind for a reason. If God has planted that idea in your mind to move, to start that business, to quit that job, a lot of times we're scared to act on it because we're so comfortable with our current circumstances. Even though we're low key outgrowing it, it's comfortable for us. We're attached to it. We don't want to know what it's like without it. We don't even want to take a chance on something else, something greater, because it's what if it doesn't work out? Or what if not yet, maybe not yet. And not yet turns into never. It's time to put a new blueprint on adulthood. We the new parents. We the new business owners. We the ones hosting the cookouts now. We the ones hosting the family gatherings now. We are the new adults. Become the adult that you've always wanted to be and start by taking that leap of faith. But y'all, that's all for episode 10. I want to real quick let y'all know that I should start the video off with this, but y'all, we got our first award. Is it gonna focus? It's gonna focus. Oh my god, it's not focusing. Okay, y'all, but we got our first award. It says Trevor Williams Jr. Motivational Adult Podcast, Concerned Citizens Association of Natchitoches, Johnny Barnes, President. I want to say thank y'all so much to the Concerned Citizens of Natchitoches Association for this award, for even thinking about me, looking at my videos, and just giving me this recognition, because sometimes it does feel like no one's watching. Sometimes it does feel like you're doing it for no reason. And with me taking that leap of faith, it all goes back to leap of faith. With me taking that leap, this right here is a testament to God's goodness. This right here is a testament to letting me know that I'm on the right track. That my leap of faith is going to lead me to way more of these, and it is from my city. It's not, a real Oscar. It's not, but to me, it's just as important. It's just as important because to be seen, to be heard is all that I've ever wanted. It's all that I want right now with this podcast. I want to reach people. I want people to be inspired. I want people to be encouraged. I feel like I'm at the Oscars right now making a speech. I want to say thank you to my mama, my family. But no, I'm just so grateful, and I'm gonna put this in my glass case with the rest of my trophies. But there's plenty more where this came from, y'all. So yes. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 10. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.